What if simply landing at JFK now comes with a side of interrogation and a splash of paranoia? What if your dream of sipping iced coffee in Times Square turns into an impromptu deportation from Gate B12? Welcome to the United States of 2025, where immigration doesn't just mean paperwork, it means a psychological Olympics. Buckle up, because President Donald Trump is back, and he didn't come to shake hands. He came, with pen in hand, executive orders on speed dial, and a border policy that looks more like a military operation than a welcome mat. Right out of the gate, literally at the airport gate, travelers are being reminded that this is no longer your grandma's America. Forget what you thought you knew about land of opportunity. The 2025 edition of US immigration under Trump is more like land of suspicion. Everyone's guilty until proven innocent, and the definition of guilty now includes nervous laughter or forgetting where your uncle works. Immigration officers are no longer glorified stampers of passports. They are detectives, interrogators, and apparently psychic lie detectors with government paychecks. Let's rewind to January 2025, Trump's comeback tour, Season 2 of the reality show titled America First Again. On day one, he signed Executive Order 14.2, 159, colorfully named Protecting the American People Against Invasion. That's right, invasion. Not entry, not visitation, invasion. The language alone is enough to make every international traveler feel like they're about to sneak into a war zone, even if they just came to see the Grand Canyon. With the swipe of a pen, Trump extended expedited removals across the entire country. Before this, the policy applied mostly to those caught within 100 miles of the border. Now, you can be snatched up at the airport, at a hotel, at a Chick-fil-A, or while waiting for your Uber. Gone are the days when visa holders were treated as guests. Now, they're suspects. The Customs and Border Protection offices have essentially been upgraded to immigration SWAT teams. They don't just check your passport, they scan your soul. The sanctity of sanctuary cities? Forget it. They've been financially starved into submission. Trump pulled federal funding from any city daring to offer even a sliver of protection to undocumented immigrants. In other words, if you're not legal and squeaky clean, you better not even jaywalk. Then came the Lack and Riley Act, a name that sounds more like a new country duo than federal legislation. But make no mistake, this act is no ballad. It's a battering ram. Under this law, any undocumented immigrant charged with a crime, not convicted, just charged, is to be detained by ICE. That's right, not proven guilty, not sentenced, just accused. Even if your only crime was stealing your roommate's Wi-Fi or sneezing too aggressively in the direction of a police officer, you could find yourself behind bars faster than you can say due process. States now have the legal right to sue the Department of Homeland Security if they think immigration laws aren't being enforced strictly enough. Imagine that. Alabama can now take DHS to court because it feels the ICE agents in California are being too chill. It's like having a group project where everyone wants to fail just to prove they worked harder. And let's not forget the expansion of the infamous Guantanamo Bay. Once known for housing terror suspects, it now serves as a holding zone for high-risk migrants, whatever that means. A mother of 3 from Honduras, a math genius from Ghana, your cousin who overstayed their student visa by a week. Toss them in. It's hard to tell who qualifies anymore. The facility has ballooned to accommodate up to 30,000 detainees. Human rights lawyers are having a meltdown. Legal aid? More like a waiting list longer than the DMV on a Monday morning. Now here comes the hilarious part. Because all good dystopias come with a twist of class privilege. Enter the Gold Card visa. Yes, you heard that right. Want to skip the line? Just drop $5 million directly into the US economy. That's it, no questions asked. Invest, and you're in. The America First policy has always had a loophole for millionaires, and this one is gold-plated. For the everyday person, it's paperwork, interviews, and fear. For the elite, it's welcome to America, here's your cocktail. Meanwhile, travelers arriving at US airports are reporting scenes straight out of a spy thriller. Longer interviews, more invasive questions, and an atmosphere thick with suspicion. Every move is watched. Every answer is analyzed. Hesitate for a second? Back to your home country. No trial, no mercy. Just the next available flight and a 5-year entry ban. It doesn't matter if you have a valid visa. It doesn't matter if you have never broken a rule in your life. If the immigration officer at the gate thinks you're a risk, you're done. Student visa holders are now grilled like they're applying for a CIA job. Why this university? Who's paying your tuition? Are you planning to stay after graduation? Say the wrong thing, like maybe I'll look for a job here, and you're toast. You might as well have confessed to robbing Fort Knox. Tourists face questions like where they'll stay, who invited them, and how much money they have. Show up without a printed hotel reservation, that's suspicious. Bringing gifts for family? That could mean intent to stay. Wearing a t-shirt that says I love New York? That's basically an admission of guilt. Work visa holders are grilled even harder. What's your exact job title? What's your salary? Do you have your employer's phone number tattooed on your forehead just in case? If not, that's suspicious too. The irony is staggering. America wants talent but treats it like a threat. Companies are losing employees. Conferences are missing speakers, but Trump's administration is focused on purging anyone who looks like they might become a problem, even if that problem is just being really good at software engineering. The core message is loud and clear. Your visa means nothing until the CBP officer says so. They can cancel it on the spot, and they do, regularly. The reasons for deportation have grown from legitimate violations to borderline absurdities. Nervous behavior? Deportation. Inconsistent answers? Deportation. Minor criminal history? Deportation. Weak ties to home country? Yup, deportation. Don't own property back home? Suspicious. Recently changed jobs? Suspicious. Used to live in the US before? Extremely suspicious. In 2025, biometric screenings have become the new normal. Your face is scanned, your fingers are scanned, your dreams are scanned. Some travelers are even being asked to show their bank balances down to the last cent. Can't afford that? $200 0 cents a night hotel? You might be too poor to enter America. Can afford it? You might be lying. There's no winning, and if you are denied entry, you have two choices: be officially deported and banned for 5 years, or voluntarily withdraw and still not be allowed back anytime soon. It's like being asked if you'd like to be thrown out the front door or the back. Either way, you're out, and you better not cry about it. Emotional responses are also suspicious now. For those brave souls still daring to visit, preparation is not recommended. It's mandatory. You must tell the truth, every time, all the time, even if the truth sounds unbelievable, because lying is the fastest way to get booted out. And make no mistake, they'll find the lie. They always do. Immigration officers in 2025 are trained like bloodhounds. If your story smells even a little bit off, you're going home. Documentation is your lifeline. If you're a student, have your acceptance letters, I-20, proof of funds and sponsor details ready. If you're a tourist, bring hotel bookings, return flight confirmations, travel insurance, and a full itinerary. If you're visiting family, get those relationship documents sorted. Birth certificates, marriage licenses, cousin group selfies from 2010, anything to prove you're not here to secretly join a mariachi band and disappear into Texas. And above all, don't say too much. Speak clearly, politely, and briefly. Do not volunteer details like how much you love America or how your cousin once told you about a good job in Seattle. That's called self-incrimination in 2025. Do not say you plan to see where things go after your studies. That's basically saying, I'm here forever. Even if you're innocent, you must appear professional, calm, and robotically perfect. Being too chatty? Suspicious. Being too quiet? Suspicious. Being average? Extremely suspicious. Trump's 2025 immigration system is a fortress, well lit, well armed, and wrapped in red tape. It's not about stopping dangerous criminals. It's about creating an atmosphere where everyone feels like they're being watched, judged, and measured. Even legal immigrants are feeling the pressure. The fear isn't just of being deported, it's of being misunderstood, of saying the wrong thing, of wearing the wrong shirt, of looking too nervous, too relaxed, too smart, or too eager. Yet in the middle of all this, people are still coming, because for all its chaos, America still holds a powerful allure, the chance to study, to work, to dream big. But now, the dream comes with a clause in fine print: prepare or perish. If you want the American dream in 2025, you better arrive with your paperwork stacked, your story straight, and your emotions turned off. because the new rules aren't designed to welcome, they're designed to eliminate. And here's the twist that makes the satire sting. Trump's policies are wildly popular with a certain segment of the population. They cheer every deportation like it's a football touchdown. They think denying someone entry because of a nervous stutter is protecting the homeland. The cruelty is no longer hidden, it's policy, and it's permanent. At least until the next election. Immigration in 2025 feels more like navigating a high-stakes obstacle course than planning a vacation. Every step, from booking a ticket to stepping off the plane, is laden with potential pitfalls. It's not enough to simply submit paperwork. You must anticipate questions that haven't even been asked yet. Asylum seekers now face a labyrinth of screening protocols that rival those of top-secret military installations. Be prepared to recount your life story in painstaking detail, from the exact street where you were born to the color of your childhood home's front door. Meanwhile, the Trump administration's obsession with infrastructure has extended to a digital frontier. The Department of Homeland Security now boasts one of the largest data centers in the world, crunching petabytes of travel histories, biometric scans, and social media footprints. Every Instagram post, every errant tweet, and every innocuous check-in at a coffee shop becomes a data point etched into your immigration dossier. The result? A system that treats the mere act of posting a sunset photo as a potential red flag. Privacy, it seems, has become the first casualty of modern border enforcement. It wasn't always like this. Once upon a time, immigration interviews were conducted in polite lounges with water coolers and friendly small talk. Officers offered smiley-faced good lucks after stamping passports, and mistakes were often met with a gentle request for clarification. That era now seems as distant as dial-up internet and handwritten letters. Today's experience can feel more like an unwelcome courtroom drama, complete with prosecutorial zeal and a strict judge in the form of the border officer. Nostalgia for those simpler days is natural and sadly misplaced. For families hoping to reunite, the new rules have introduced an extra layer of complexity. Parents applying for visas on behalf of minor children must now attend separate interviews alongside their kids, sometimes at different ports of entry. Imagine explaining your child's entire life trajectory to an officer who might ask whether Junior's favorite cartoon character reflects hidden political leanings. This isn't just bureaucracy run amok. It's a reminder that every policy has human faces attached. Emotional reunions are now tempered by the looming threat of citation or worse. Though critics decry the cruelty of these measures, there's a certain perverse logic to them. By ramping up scrutiny at every corner, the government believes it deters frivolous attempts at entry and focuses resources on genuine threats. Whether that logic holds up is another matter entirely, especially when families fleeing violence or persecution get caught in the dragnet. Many now seek legal aid organizations before even booking a flight. Pro bono lawyers have become as essential to the travel checklist as passports and boarding passes, offering workshops on surviving CBP interviews that sound eerily like crash courses for spies. There's also the unexpected side effect of what might be called immigration tourism. Some entrepreneurs have launched so-called prep boot camps, where would-be travelers can simulate secondary inspections with actors playing stern officers. These immersive experiences include fake fingerprinting, timed questionnaires, and even pressure sessions where participants must answer rapid-fire questions under bright lights. It's surreal but telling. In 2025, you pay to feel like a detainee so you can avoid actually ending up one. The thriving market for such services underscores how much the process has diverged from its original purpose of regulation into something resembling theatrical production. Tech aficionados have started developing apps aimed at assuaging fears and reducing mistakes. One app offers AI-generated responses to common CBP questions, tailored to your visa type and personal history. Another tracks flight delays and automatically reschedules embassy appointments when schedules shift. There's even a confidence booster that uses biometric feedback, heart rate, perspiration levels, to coach you through mock interviews. Ironically, the very technologies designed to ease the process are extensions of the surveillance state, feeding even more data back into the government's insatiable analytics engines. In a bizarre twist, some travelers opt for visa vacations to neighboring countries first, hoping that the novelty of a two-leg journey distracts CBP from scrutinizing the final destination. For example, instead of flying directly from Lagos to New York, they might detour through Madrid, spend a short weekend there, and then proceed onward. The logic is that a fresh entry from Europe appears less suspicious than one straight from a developing nation. Whether this strategy actually works remains unclear, but it illustrates the lengths people will go to outfox an unforgiving system. Underpinning all of this is a profound shift in the philosophical undercurrents of immigration policy. Where once the United States prided itself on a narrative of melting pot inclusivity, the prevailing metaphor now is fortress. Walls, both physical and digital, dominate the conversation. The romanticism of Ellis Island, with its Statue of Liberty and hopeful arrivals, has been supplanted by tweets of zero tolerance and invasion. That rhetorical pivot matters. It reframes every traveler as a potential enemy rather than a future contributor. Yet despite the atmosphere of suspicion, the US still needs talent and tourists. Industries craving specialized skills are scrambling to navigate the regulatory morass. Tech companies sponsoring H-1B workers now hire entire teams of immigration specialists just to keep pace. Universities have set up visa readiness departments, offering guidance on molecular biology students' failed interviews. Even sports teams bring in lawyers to shepherd foreign athletes through the maze. Beneath the satire lies a stark truth. Systems designed to impede outsiders often end up undermining national interests. A curious cultural phenomenon has emerged in response: satirical social media accounts parodying the immigration process. Hashtags like Under Review and CBP Chronicles compile horror stories, from passport burns to mistaken identity nightmares. Comedians incorporate role-play skits into late-night shows, lampooning the idea that explaining one's own intent could be grounds for indefinite. These public reckonings shine a light on the absurdity of a security regime that sometimes seems motivated more by fear than by facts. Meanwhile, legislators on both sides of the aisle are battling over incremental reforms. Some propose limited amnesty for long-term residents with spotless records, while others push for biometric bailouts, pre-approved digital passes for low-risk travelers. There's talk of restoring basic due process for asylum seekers, but any hearing would require a court hearing that might take years to schedule. By then, most applicants would have either slipped into the shadows or given up hope entirely. The tug of war over these bills reveals that even minor concessions come at the steep price of political capital. Fun fact: processing times at the US Citizenship and Immigration Services have ballooned to the point where some applicants now brace for multi-year waits just to change a visa status. An art teacher seeking an O1 can find themselves in limbo for 18 months, while a software engineer on an H-1B might endure queues nearly as long. That's right. Sometimes, the waiting room is the greatest barrier of all. You might pass every security check, but if you age out of your status before approval, you're back to square one. So, as you plan your next trip to the United States, remember this: the 2025 immigration landscape is a testament to how rules evolve when history takes a sharp turn. It's a system built on data, powered by technology and justified by fears both real and imagined. Yet, behind every immigration officer's stern glare and every biometric scan, there lies a chance to tell your own story, clearly, honestly, and with unwavering resolve. If you've made it this far in the guide, you're already ahead of the game. Now, go pack your documents, practice your answers in front of a mirror, and maybe try one of those prep boot camps if you're feeling adventurous. Embark on the journey with eyes wide open, armed with facts, and fueled by the same curiosity that drew generations of immigrants before you. Because in 2025, more than ever, preparation isn't just an option, it's the passport to your American dream. If this deep dive gave you new insights, or at least a good laugh at the surreal state of things, be sure to subscribe, like, and drop a comment below. Share your wildest immigration tale, your top strategy for calming pre-flight jitters, or how you plan to navigate the world's most scrutinized border. Until next time, stay prepared, stay confident, and keep telling it like it is.